What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be testing these three systems out. We're going to be testing the Xbox S that does 4K. We're going to be testing out the Xbox One X over here, Cyberpunk Edition, and we're going to be pitting them against the Xbox One Series X. I've actually had that thing for 3 months, and it's high time I finally do this video. So what we're going to be doing, though, is putting them all together to see and answer the question, do you need to upgrade to that thing? I'm kind of thinking you don't, but we'll see. So we're going to be testing the speed. We're going to be testing graphics. We're going to be testing game load time. We're going to be testing lag and just overall gameplay. We're going to be testing apps like Netflix and all of that. So with all that said, let's get into it. First thing we're going to do is go through each box and we're going to see what comes with the systems, starting with the Xbox One Series X. All right, so as I said, I had this thing for 3 months and I have yet to do anything with it. So let's go ahead and open this bad boy up. I think we lay it down this way and open it up like so. Oh, that is nice. I mean, that presentation. Let me make sure this is getting in the shot. Yes, it is. That is fantastic presentation. So this is just all foam. And this is the Xbox itself. Man, you know what else we're going to do? We're going to weigh them. We're going to measure them. Because I didn't expect this to look like this. Honestly, I didn't know what I was expecting. It's heavy, though. It's a heavy brick. So we're going to lift this tab up. All right. It doesn't tear off or it's not glued. And my wife just brought dinner. She ready to watch a movie. We're supposed to watch the Justice League today. And I didn't even get HBO Max yet, so I'm behind. All right, here it is. Ouch, it just shocked me. Here it is. There you are. Let's put this aside. And let's go back to the rest of the box. Actually, before we do that, let's fold this bad boy back up. Now I gotta hurry up because I'm hungry. Let's go in here and we have a cord, power cord, HDMI, and the controller. We're gonna compare controllers too because, I mean, to me it just looked like they all look the same. This new controller looks like the old one. And yeah, pretty much it's the same exact thing. I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It has a little extra grip to it, but other than that, this thing is pretty much the same. And we have a booklet here. So that's it. What I'm going to do is go ahead and hook this up after I eat and let it do all its updates and everything. And then we're going to let all of them do that overnight. Those other two are updated, but this needs to update. And then I'm going to put Cyberpunk on this one, Cyberpunk on the other ones, and then we're going to do all the comparisons in the morning because this is going to probably take all night long to do that. See you guys then. All right, everybody, let's go over the controllers. I said I was going to weigh the systems, but I'm not. You know why? Because why are you holding them? That don't even make any sense. This is what you're going to be holding. So let's go over the controllers. So this came with the Cyberpunk. I think that's pretty obvious. This is the new one that comes with the Xbox Series X and probably the new Xbox Series S. This came with the Xbox One S, the older white one. That one. And this came with nothing. I just bought this individually. This is the Xbox Elite controller. This is version 1. A lot of people had complaints about it for some odd reason, but I've been using this thing since like 2015, 14, almost every day. I'm going to show you just how much I've been using it. So let's go ahead and get into it. I originally did this before, but I want to do it again because I want to outline some of the differences that I noticed after playing with that one. So first, let's get to weighing them. They all have batteries in them. They always all have the exact same unloops in them because that's what I use as rechargeable batteries. We're first going to weigh the Cyberpunk. Comes in at 10.3 ounces. Let's weigh the brand new one. 10.4 ounces. Let's weigh the white one. 10.1 ounces. Now, the interesting thing is when I weighed this yesterday, it was 10.3 ounces, but I've used it since, and maybe some of my hand grease got on there. Let's try it again. Nah, it's 10.4. Something, I don't know, it's heavier today. And then this bad boy, you already know it's going to be way heavier. 12.4. So, lightest, second lightest, third lightest, and the heaviest over there. Now, let's go over some differences between these controllers. Now, this white one is going to be pretty much the same as the Cyberpunk one, minus the obvious design. This, to me, was built a little bit better. Nah, let me take that back. I take that back. These are just the same, okay? These two are the same. So we can eliminate this one because I'm going to sell that. I've never touched that, never played with it. I don't want to because that's going up for sale tonight. So anyway, let's compare these two first before we even get into the Elite. So there's not a whole lot of differences between the new controller and the old one. And I like that. The body design is exactly the same. And I'm glad it's the same because it works. I play my Xbox more than my PlayStation. One of the reasons is just because of the controller. I like the way the controller feels in my hand better. But let's go over the differences. One, we're going to start here with the buttons because the differences are very few. We're going to start with the buttons here. We see it's 3. There's a share button, and this one does not have that. When we come to the D-pad, we see it's one whole unit, and it allows you to easily do your Hadoukens because it has a corner, a circular D-pad, as opposed to this cross plus sign, which is, I mean, like impossible. I've been trying to figure this out since I was little. How I'm supposed to do the Hadouken, and I can't push this, right? I mean, I can do them, obviously. You just do it like that, but this makes it way easier. It's kind of like the Xbox Elite, which is why I've always used this, but of course the mechanism on this one is top notch. It's still better than this one. Moving on to the back, there's one other difference, and that is that these triggers here are textured. You can see, well, not that part. They're textured. Whereas the older one is not. It's smooth, and I actually prefer the smoothness. I'm not gonna lie, my finger has slipped off before. We can even go look at the Cyberpunk, which was released over in summer of 2020, and that's also slick. But new for the Series X and probably the Series S, I'm sure you had that textured triggers. Now I have my finger has slipped off a few times, but I was probably eating or something, or just really in an intense game and I was sweating. But I guess that's what that's for. Now let's talk about some things that are very minor, and I'm going to compare them now. We're talking about this left joystick here. Now I've used this before, this controller. This is not a brand new controller. It's been lightly used, but I have used it and it feels fine. But this one, it's hard to explain. Like this indentation seems deeper. This lip seems higher and it annoys me. If I go grab this one, well, this is super smooth. This is like super baby butt smooth on the back. I've never really just held this thing. This feels smooth and more natural too. I don't like how slick that thing is, but this, I don't know. This is just seems too deep. Does this have texture on the back? I mean, this one has texture on the back too. I was just thinking, like, after feeling how smooth that is, does this even have texture? But is it texture on this side? Okay, this side is textured, but that's weird. It's not textured on the side. Well, that side is, but this side isn't. I guess because of the wrap. But obviously, this is really textured. Has a lot more texture to it than even the white one. And when we come over here to the Elite, it's it ain't just texture, it's a rubber grip, which I really like. And I've been using this almost daily for years. And this is worn down. It's smooth. But I wanted to talk about another thing, going back to that little controller. Now again, I use this all the time. And these are removable. So I'll pick it up and I'll show you. Now look at this. Is that normal? You see how smooth that is? Let me put it in light. Have I just rubbed all the lip and texture off of that thing from aggressive playing? Or did it come smooth like that? I really don't know. I have to really go back and look at the brochure on this thing, as I said before. I mean, now, the bottom part and the side part is textured. Oh, there it goes. It's gone. Oh, there it is. But, yeah, that's kind of interesting. Now, granted, I could switch them out. This is also still kind of smooth, but it still has a lip, but it's not as prominent, nowhere near as prominent as this or this. But again, like I've only used this controller exclusively for the past several years, so I have no idea. Anyway, we spent way too much time on these remotes. That's that. I do like that. I love the D-pad. That kind of annoys me, and the texture on my index finger annoys me, but it's something that you can get used to. And again, over time, as you use it, it'll likely wear down anyway. One thing I also want to go over are the ports on the back. On the new unit, I'm going to use the light. I know I hate the way lights look in video, but it's the best way to just show you how it looks. So it only has one HDMI out, which is interesting because, as we know, the older ones had an HDMI in. It has one Ethernet, one storage expansion, which of course this is proprietary, so you'll never see me buy one of these. And then solid state drives. Now, one thing I am going to do in this video is test whether this works or not. Like, can I hook up games to this a hard drive and play games from it? So we're going to try that because I do have some. And when we come back and we look at the S here, we see it has an HDMI in, and that's usually from your cable. So you were able to, I don't know if you still can, I never did it, but you were able to bring up like all your cable channels and stuff through the Xbox, which made this a really nice media center. Has IR out, never used it. Two USB drive ports in the back. SPDIF, I don't know what that is. I think that's like optical surround sound system. And then, of course, your Ethernet cable and your HDMI out. More things in the new one. In the front, you also have another HDMI port and, of course, the drive. Now, here you also have the same thing. You have the drive, and then you have a HDMI port. What am I saying? A USB port in the front. Did I say call it a HDMI? A USB port in front of that one as well. Now, when it comes to the Xbox One X, it's going to be, I believe it's the same as the S. With the port in the front, you have your drive nicely hidden in the front. Of course, this one looks the best out of all of them as far as design goes. So let's take a look at the back. We have the Ethernet. We have, I think that's the optical port, like I said, IR out. Two USB ports, HDMI in and HDMI out. It's all the same. It's just like the Xbox One S. All right, so after running the speed test on the Xbox One S, we have 158 megabits per second for a download speed, 98.39 megabits per second for an upload speed, packet loss of 0, latency 38 milliseconds. So latency is basically your ping, and signal strength of 62%. All right, now we have the Xbox One X up. We're going to go ahead and test the speed. I'm going to leave the Xbox One S on too, just in case, they were causing interference with one another. All right, this took a lot less time than the Xbox One S. So 243 down, 106 up. 106 up. Packet loss 0. I don't know what MTU is. I didn't even say what I mean, talk about on the last one. Latency 40 milliseconds and wireless strength of 84%. So now what we're going to do with all three of them on, I'm going to turn the Series X on and we're going to test that one out. Okay, so the Series X here, we have 242 megs down with 66 upload speed. Not as good as the Xbox One. Latency 47 milliseconds and a wireless strength of 58%. That's actually interesting because for download speed, it did quite well for having a weak signal. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the S and the 1X. I'm going to do that to see if it makes a huge difference. But the thing is, they're not really off. They're still broadcasting. They still download and they still doing stuff. So we're going to run it again. I just want to see if it changes the wireless strength. So I ran this test again. I was really trying to give the Series X a chance. Well, the wireless strength is still 58%. Upload speed is 70. Download speed is 232. Latency is 47. So everything was pretty much the same with the packet loss of 0. And here's the thing. The two systems are not that far from one another. So you see the Series X and the 1X is like right down below it. So I mean, they're inches from one another. They're inches from one another. And honestly, when it comes to wireless devices, having them higher up does better. So, really the Series X should do better. But would I say it's still worth keeping the 1X behind that? Nah, not at all. Because that gameplay, I mean, that's what you got it for. That gameplay, I mean, it still needs to be able to connect to the internet well. And it does really good for having a weak, I wouldn't call this weak, 58%, but it's nowhere near the 80 that the 1X is putting up. But it's still fast for what you're getting. But that gameplay though. Now we're going to test the startup speed of Horizon 4. 1, 2, 3. That wasn't too bad. 1, 2, 3, go. All right. What was that? 40 something seconds. Okay, here we go. That was actually really close. All right, while that was really close, obviously the Series X wins because it had a whole extra screen pop up, whereas on the 1X, I don't remember what the screen said, but it was the last graphic. It didn't show at all, and then they ended up getting to the start screen pretty much at about the same time, about 45 seconds. So, yeah, the Series X is significantly faster. Load time on the 1S is slow, but I haven't really seen much of a change up in
Now we can get down to biz.
graphics.
Will Kako give you any tips and tricks for the job? I'm not your mother. Just do what I pay you for.
Mm.
It's easy work. Yeah. Let's do this.
I know it's a little bit of pixelation.
Elevator. This way.
Alright, so let's do this. Let's just walk around and look at this area. Some stuff is a little fuzzy, but maybe it was meant to look dusty in here.
Hey everyone, feels great to have you back. So then, did y'all hear about that Arasaka aircraft carrier docked in Night City? Called Kujira, or the Whale. Apparently the Corp figured it wasn't safe in Japanese waters. Afraid some local fishermen might harpoon it for scientific research. But honestly, it's quite the power move. Wonder what Militech will respond with. Maybe Myers will fly a Rust Bucket B-17 Flying Fortress over Arasaka HQ. Ooh, man, that is...
Okay, let's. You know what? Things actually look a little sharper. She was a little blurry on the 1S when I walked up to her. Booty still little though. Yeah, this is actually much sharper. And that progress bar is still crooked. I'm not going to be able to unsee that ever.
So? Not bad, huh?
Oh
Now we can
my
get down to
goodness, this
biz.
looks so much better. Oh my goodness.
Let's
It's
do
night and
this.
day. Let's go. I had to actually double check and see what system I'm using.
Elevator. This way.
Oh, so much more smooth and fluid. I gotta give it that. The graphics look better. I mean, it's just sharper, just clearer. Yeah, the 1X maintains the frame rate way better than the 1S. In fact, the 1S just scales it down. All right, so let's now go to the Series X, and that will be it. Unfortunately, I won't be able to get into any action because I don't know how long that's going to even take. But we could just see here in this area the differences between the two. And that's really what I wanted to do, get into an open area and wander around so we can see if any frame rates drop. And they do. On this is actually pretty good. So I
Did y'all
made.
hear about that
See how
Arasaka
fast that
aircraft
thing loaded up?
carrier docked in Night City?
Wow. It's almost seconds. She looks the same as the 1X. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's moving like y'all know, remember when like 4K TVs first came out and it was giving people motion sickness? That's how the Series X looks.
So? Not bad, huh? Now we can get down to biz.
This is
Let's
slightly
do
better
this.
than the Xbox One. Definitely faster. Faster loading times.
Elevator. This way.
I would say that this is like right on par with the Xbox One X. All right, so this is like my 9th time filming all this stuff. What we're going to do, we're going to play 2 games. We're going to play Horizon 4, which is a somewhat new game. It's what, 2 years old now? Almost 2 years old. We're going to play this, and then we're also going to play Cyberpunk. Then the reason we're going to play Horizon 4 is because I noticed a dramatic difference in the way each game plays across each console. Now, it's not going to be any sound on this thing as far as the game is concerned, so just bear with me, but hopefully this will be quick. So first of all, let's look at the transitions here. All right, you see how smooth that is? And it loses its frame a little bit, but not quite. You notice all the cars are there as we go through the different classes. This is not the case on the Xbox One or the One S. So let's hop in the Evo. All right, and let's go. Just look at all the transitions, even how Bamberg Castle comes up. It was a slight delay. Excuse me. It was a slight delay when the house popped up, Sneaker Dad's house, but Bamberg Castle came up. The rates at the rate in which the words transition onto the screen were different. If you didn't catch it, rewind it, because I don't want to make this video that long. It's already crazy long. And you'll notice, oh, we need a route. So let's go to the quarry. We're not going to go all the way, but we'll go there and then we'll hit some trees. So you can see how the damage displays. So I'm on the Series X right now, and I want you to look at the lamppost, look at the trees going by. And I intentionally got this fast car because on the other consoles, when the screen gets really busy, you can see the frame rate drop drastically. But on this one, it maintains the detail on the road, it maintains the detail on the trees. It just looks a lot more realistic. And this is not a sales pitch for this, but I will say that if you plan on getting newer games that are heavy on the graphics and you already have an Xbox, but it's an older generation, then yeah, you might want to consider upgrading. Me, I like getting old games. So by the time I get one of these new ones, like the only reason I have Cyberpunk is because I got the console. Oh man, okay. I want to go to the Forza-thon. So y'all see how that handled that? Look at the destruction. Let's see, where's the Forza-thon at? Okay, we can just do that. We'll just take that route every time. All right, so I'm gonna go all the way down this highway too. And I'll say this, it's also easier to play this game on the Series X, even though I'm crashing. It's because I was just playing on the One S. And so I had to reacclimate myself because I can see everything a lot clearer now. Don't ask me how that happened. Everything seems more responsible in this. I thought I could clip that. Okay, so I think you guys get the picture. Especially once I compare, once I compare apples to apples here, you'll be able to see what I'm really talking about. Let's do the same thing. We're going to go to the garage. We're going to look at the cars, the transitions as we go across. It's pretty good, but you can see once it moves, when it's moving, the frame rates drop just a tad. Now let's go to class. And you see it takes time for the cars to even load up on the screen. And the 1S does the same thing. The Series X, you do not experience that. And that is why I think, it's worth considering if you're going to be getting newer games, because this 2-year-old game doesn't run the way it was meant to on even the 1X. So let's grab the Ferrari again. Oh, we're already in it. And we're going to run a similar route. We're going to go the same exact route. So let's go through the map. We can see the map is pretty smooth today anyway. So we're going to go this way. All right, there we are. All right, so we see when I came back in, all right, we're going to go up here and then we're going to go back down to here. All right, so now when I come out of this screen, pay attention to where it says Bamberg Castle. Look at how that transition flows. Actually, that time it was very close to the Series X. All right, I'm using a controller I'm very familiar with. It's vibrating like crazy. Almost feels like something is loose. Which it could be. All right, so let's look at the frame rates. We see as I turn that corner, things got a little choppy. And even as I'm going now, you see the lampposts aren't as detailed. The trees aren't as detailed. It get a little blurry. It's almost hard to explain. The best way I can explain it is just telling you what's happening. The frame rates are dropping. And this was something I noticed when I first got this Xbox and I started playing this game. I had noticed that, when I'm going slow, when I'm first starting off, the car looks so good. Everything looks real. But then as I start going, it just gives me that regular old video game feel again. And I wasn't quite sure what was going on until I started playing it on the Series X, and it became very apparent what was going on. Whoops. I'm trying to go through this without crashing for y'all, but crashing is kind of good so you can see how the damage flows, I guess. What it looks like. Yoink. All right. So this is where we turned around last time. And let's go back to Fortune Island. We're going to go all the way down the highway. And like I was saying on the Series X, when things are not as fluid, when those frame rates drop, it becomes a little harder to control the vehicle because I really can't see. That could be my eyes, but I can just see everything better on the Series X once I get up in speed. So everything's kind of a blur at this point. I can't really see cars off in the horizon that well. Now with slower cars, it's not as big of an issue. Oop. My bad, y'all. It was something going on outside my window. I had to go look. That's why I crashed there. All right, so let's pay attention to the walls and what they look like when you crash into them. All right, so you guys get it. You guys see the difference. Now let's go ahead and switch on over to the 1S. I still have it up because it's getting dark and I want to show you guys something on the 1X. A difference on the 1X from the Series X. Now, if it's nighttime and you see I'm driving through snow. Now on this one, as I'm driving through the snow, it just looks like it's white stuff on the ground, but on the Series X, the ground actually shimmers. Now for anyone that lives in a climate where it snows, you know at night, the snow after it falls, it has a real pretty shimmer to it. And that picks up on the Series X, but it does not on the 1X. I'm trying to see if I can find like a nice blanket of snow just to make sure that it doesn't. Let's go. For some reason there's no snow on the beach. I don't know how that works out. But yeah, there's no shimmer on the ground. And even now the frame rates are nice because you see I'm going slow. The frame rate is perfect and it's holding, but that level of detail isn't there. So anyway, let's go ahead and switch over to the 1S now. Okay, all right, so now we're testing out the 1S. So let's go to our garage and we're gonna just go over. It's pretty smooth now. It could be smooth just because I've been playing for a little bit. I initially started this and then saw there was a Forza-thon going and I did that. So we see all the cars are loading up pretty much as fast as the 1X did. That was a little lagadocious, but I mean, to me, pretty good for being, how old is this device? I bought it in 2016, so, I mean, it's like 4.5 years old. All right, so we already have our Ferrari. And let's look at the transitions here. Bamberg Castle, that was nice. Everything looks nice. Now, one thing about the footage that you guys are looking at, the 1X has similar footage to this, and it's starting to get dark outside. But the Series X, it was snowing, so things are going to look a little different. See, my headlights just came on. I really wanted to show what that looks like on the Series X because the snow is way more detailed. Oops. All right, so I have to do this. Let's go. All right, so yeah, make sure you pay attention to all of the surroundings. Ooh. I mean, even as I was going around that corner just now, take a look at the walls on the building, rewind, and you'll see that they got blurry. And that's exactly what I mean. The Series X maintains the detail much better than the 1X and of course the 1S. But if you were just playing these though, I mean, if you went from the Series X and then went to this, you'll notice a huge difference. But after playing this for like 15, 20 minutes, you'll get used to it. So if all the video games were like this, I would not say it warrants an upgrade. But thinking towards the future, all the future games that are going to be made are going to be made with the Series X in mind. So those games will likely really struggle on the 1S and even the 1X. All right, look at the sign, blurry. It was in focus, then it got blurry. I'm gonna go make a U-turn right here so you guys can look at this sign. See the blurry, the blur. You couldn't read anything on that, and then you could. So that's what I mean. On the Series X, that stuff will stay more crisp, a lot easier. And let's go all the way down here, and then I'm gonna try to hit some trees and stuff. But I didn't hit any trees on the other one, so not really much to compare it to. I'll look down for a moment. I'm gonna try to get through this without crashing. But it doesn't look bad though. There's the best out. Oh, well, I didn't see those. I know I was gonna hit something. This is the best run though. There's a lot of cars out here. I don't know what I did there. Whoa. Now that's how you recover from a wreck. Obviously in real life the car just be total, but now trying to compare details to the 1X is not going to really be worth it. I think that they probably share the same level of detail. Like I mentioned before, like the Series X under this snow light. Okay, well, this is shimmering a little bit. You guys see that? This has the shimmer. Maybe I just wasn't in a location where the snow was thick enough. But yeah, it has a shimmer. Yeah, so, I mean, me personally, I wouldn't upgrade. Um, I think that upgrading to the Series X is only for one particular type of gamer, and that is somebody that gets brand new games as soon as they come out. Since I am not that person, and I just pretty much just use Xbox Game Pass, and I buy cheap discs when they go on sale, somebody like me, I'd be okay. But if you are one of those people that get the newest thing when it comes out and you take gaming very serious, then I would go ahead and upgrade because you'll notice a dramatic difference in frame rates. And really, that just changes the way the game looks and, the way it loads. Other little benefits to the Series X is the fact that you can quick resume 3 games at once, and I would imagine that over time with some updates that would get faster, but it's not slow, but it's slower than quick resuming 1 game on the older consoles. So with that said, I hope this video was helpful. It took me a long time to make, and as you can imagine, it was very expensive. So if you could give me a like, comment below, let me know what you like, what you didn't like about the video. Your feedback helps me make better videos in the future. And if you feel like it was a good review, please share it on all your forums, all the groups that you're in. Tell everybody, hey, I found this really good video comparing all of the Xboxes. You guys got to check it out. Or if you hated the video, still post it on those forums and say, hey, I just found the worst review of all time with these Xboxes. Y'all got to check it out. So thanks again. Thanks for your time. And I'll see you guys next time.